And then in that same week, someone else had kind of posed a question to me, and they said, Charlie, if you had $300 million, what would you do? What would you do? And I listed a bunch of stuff that I would do, you know, pay off the house debt and, you know, maybe buy a new car and get a boat and take a trip, you know, maybe take the family to Disney, go to Europe, you know, see the Grand Canyon. And they said, great. Now, you've done all that stuff for 2 years. You've gone to the beaches, you went to Hawaii, you did all those things for 2 years. You still have $300 million. You hadn't even made a dent in the money. Mm-hmm. You've bought all those one-time purchases. It's a random Tuesday. What are you doing? And because, you know, most of the things that I've ever thought of are like one-time events. Like, mm-hmm. you're going to buy a boat, but it's not like you're going to be in a boat sure. every day of the week. So like, that is going to be something that happens, and occasionally you're going to take the boat out. But like, what are you going to do with are you going to just sit on a beach for the rest of your life, or what?
Right.
And for me, I know that I didn't want to just
sit on the beach,
sit around forever. I want to, you know, do something, have purpose and meaning. But one of the things that, like, on that random Tuesday of what would I be doing on that random Tuesday, my random Tuesday, you know, 3 years in the future after mm-hmm. getting $300 million was, you know, a cup of coffee and breakfast, you know, helping the kids get off to school, you know, spending some time with Brandy, spending time reading the Bible. Mm-hmm. Exercise would probably be part of the day, you know, going for a run or exercise in some kind of way. And then there would probably be some other types of functions, but it would probably entail lunch with a friend or coffee with a friend or going to visit grandma or, you know, any of those types of, you know, my grandma is 84 years old. So it's like, that's probably what my random Tuesday would entail. And then I was just trying to think of, like, the person that was telling me this basically said that you have a lot more margin for change in your life than you probably give yourself credit for. Mm. So if your dream scenario is driving down California highway in a red drop-top convertible, okay, well, that may not be possible right now today, mm-hmm. But you can drive down River Road with the sunroof open and the windows down, and it's still like the life-giving activities. Mm-hmm. Well, one of mine was having lunch with a friend or coffee with a friend. Well, those are I don't have to wait until I have $300 million to have a cup of coffee with a friend. So for me, this podcast, part of that is, if nobody ever watches it or whatever, it's an excuse to get together with a friend sure. and have a cup of coffee and just talk about whatever's going on within life. So
you know what I just envisioned is inviting somebody to our coffee podcast, and like one of us takes the back seat and we just pop in while the person is in this seat talking. There's something you said I thought was interesting. You were describing your random Tuesday, and none of the things you said required $300 million.
Good, right?
You said hang out with grandma, you know, read my Bible, hanging out with Brandy, going to eat lunch with the kids, grabbing coffee with your buddy. Like, it's just interesting that even thinking through having all this money, it's the things you want to do, you can do. Like, you make an excuse of I don't have the money or the time, but really, you got to make the time, right? You got to schedule the time. But financially, it wasn't like you described a lot of things that were expensive to do.
Yeah, time.